Harrington and Richardson 622, very much like the 922, just 6 shots instead of 9. This one is, I believe, a little unusual, or not unusual, but the lesser seen model with the round butt handle that you would see on the 2.5-inch models. This is a 922, you see, with the round grip, round butt grip they called it, and the 2.5-inch barrel. The 622s mostly had the 2.5-inch barrel if they had this grip. The 4-inch barrel, mostly you would see the square butt, which is, well, you'll see them in videos. If you go further down in my playlist, you'll see some 622 videos, and I think every one of them has the square butt model. Has that little hip and a longer grip. And that was on most of the 4-inch and 6-inch models, except for the very early 622s. Some of them had that one piece, almost looked like a Frontier grip, but it's a one-piece plastic. This one, interestingly enough, a friend of mine who loves the way this feels in your hand, loves the grip, says this one's awkward. Now, of course, they're identical. So the only thing different is that you have more weight hanging off the nose of this. And of course, one of the things we know about leverage is the further away you go from a center point, the more the weight affects it. So I guess that last 1.5 inches of barrel makes it feel different. It doesn't feel that different to me, but he immediately saw it as awkward. Now, this has a different release for the cylinder. It's also a pull pin, pop-out cylinder. You push in this button, spring-loaded, and that allows the pin to come out. And I found this does not have the star ejector where you can push them all out at once. You need to push one at a time. Now, that's not something that's necessarily characteristic of the 622s, because I've seen many that have that star. Maybe the very early ones had this, and this cylinder was from an earlier gun. Or the bigger square butt models all had it, and maybe this one didn't. I have no idea why this has a different cylinder than you would see in most of the 622s that you'll see for sale. But you won't see many of this model. Longer barrel, small handle. This was kind of common, the longer barrel and small grip. On the 32 calibers, they called it the Guardsman. They didn't give names to the 622s. Guardian, I think, is the little one. Yeah, Guardian is the little one, 2.5-inch barrel, and Guardsman was the 4-inch. But that's a 32 caliber. This is 22. Now, I tried to find out about why it has this cylinder, and one of the things about the internet is there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it's wrong or contradicts the other information out there. The more places you look, the more answers you get. And I found places where I read that all the 622s had the ejection star to send out all the casings at once. I also read that none of them did. I also read that some of them did. So you can take your pick. If you scroll down the playlist that the video is in, the video that you're watching, you'll see some other 622 videos done by other people. But they're all the larger square butt. I couldn't find any. Oh, here we go with the clock again. I couldn't find any videos with the little round butt 622. I'm not sure why, because it was more common. But maybe not many of them were of interest to people anymore. Of course, the 922 was much more popular because of the greater capacity. And you see a difference in the finish on this. It's very dull, like a matte or flat finish. No shine, and that was pretty standard on all the 622s I've ever seen.